Hey, welcome to our episode of Chaz Beer Reviews. Doing another American Porter, no chocolate, coffee, or anything like that. Good old Founders Brewing Porter. Roasted coffee note, graham cracker, sweetness. Doesn't actually have those ingredients in there. Flip it around to the back, 6.5 ABV, 45 IBUs, bottled on March 2nd. So I pour it into the old school Chad's 9976 amateur connoisseur pint glass. You know, pretty dark. It looks black in the glass there. It actually is like a really dark brown. Get a nice big, I'd probably call it brown, light brown, foamy, frothy head. And it is still sticking around. Let's give this a smell. Okay, yeah, I would definitely say there's roasted notes in here, but it is not coffee smelling. So this is nice because it actually smells like the actual roasted malt. It's different from your black coffee. Has like a little bit of citrusy hops in there, but not to the extent of the Möbius from 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐿. Does have kind of a sweet kind of dairy smell, but at the same time you also have that roasted character in there and hops. Yeah, so nice dark malt, but also with a hint of sweetness and a little bit of American hops. So let's see how it tastes. Cheers. I actually haven't had this beer in a long time. I looked it up on Untappd. It's been over 4 years since I had this. And every time I checked into it, I was always rating it super high because this is, you know, what pretty much the specs for American Porter were like written around this beer, I think. And all these years later, and this particular bottle right here, it's still, I can see why. So there's quite a lot going on here. Up front, I'm definitely calling it a malty beer. I mean, it should be. It's a porter. Has the flavor of dark malt, but like on that kind of bitter side, so like the roasty malt for sure. A little bit of like a toasted character in there, maybe like a hint of caramel. A little bit of American citrusy hops in there, enough to notice, enough for bitterness, enough for balance. It's not quite to the extent of the 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐿. But yeah, I would call that like, it's a lovely dark malt. I would definitely call it a chocolatey flavor. It's kind of like the flavor of chocolate, but without the sweetness of chocolate. This does not taste like candy. It certainly doesn't taste like a pastry set or anything like that. And again, although I thought it was kind of odd that they put right on the label here, roasted coffee notes. To me, it doesn't really strike me as coffee. Like when I think coffee in a dark beer that doesn't actually have coffee in it, like I kind of think like Guinness, foreign extra stout, especially tends to have like that real, coffee kind of, just black coffee bitterness. This to me, it's the difference between the flavor of actual roasted malt versus black coffee. Maybe like a new drinker might not notice it, but I do. By the way, look at the gorgeous lacing on the glass. I was a little nervous because I didn't watch this before we started, but yeah, that is nice lacing. As far as mouthfeel on here, it's a lovely, I'd probably call it like a medium full kind of body. Not to the, all out extent of like an imperial stout, but a nice creamy texture. Carbonation is, I'd probably call it moderate, maybe moderately low, like very creamy, very smooth. 6.5 ABV. Obviously no alcohol, smell, aroma, or taste or anything like that. Or warmth, I should say, but this has like enough body and just like enough like gusto that like this, to me, this is like, even though it's only 6.5 and there's no chocolate or anything in it, this is like a dessert beer in and of itself. But at the same time, this is also very versatile. This could stand up to a steak or pizza or like blackened chicken or something like that. Yeah, it does finish like with a lovely chocolate aftertaste. More on the milk chocolate side. So yeah, nice sweet beer, but still just like the the genuine malt flavor in there, genuine hoppy flavor and bitterness in there. I think that for me the bitterness is like a tad high, but it's within the specs. By the way, we will have I'll do a Tuesday night beer school on American Porter featuring this beer and the Equilibrium, but that could be a few weeks or a few months from now. Just depends when we get around to it. So as far as the score for the Founders Porter, still a great beer after all these years. I do not like this new label, though. I wasn't crazy about the one with the painting of the woman on it, and I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's just kind of like this general brown blanket kind of note or something. I don't know. So, I mean, I could go full. I mean, for American Porter, yeah, it's borderline 50 perfect beer. Personal preference, this is really tasty. I think I'll probably go like 4.5 out of 5. It's just for, not an imperial beer and not with, chocolate and all that stuff in it, to get that many flavors out of it and to be just like so drinkable and be so versatile, it's really impressive. So if you've never had this one, I highly recommend it because you can get this pretty much anywhere. I'd love to try it. Like, I think like you let it. I think this is a perfect age too, because if you get this like super fresh, it's gonna be like super hoppy. So after 4, almost 5 months in the bottle, I mean the hops are obviously still there, but they're just not like punch you in the face, extent that a fresh bottle would be. All right, I am rambling. If you watch all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys for Tuesday Night Beer School. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.